Morning, everybody. So this morning I'm wearing green, and the reason I'm wearing green is because I'm thinking about manager mindset, and I'm thinking about why people don't come into the office and how it could be an indicator that your managers aren't doing the job they're meant to do. But before we talk about that, let's talk about the colors. Just give a little recap. So we've got the 3 green behaviors: thinking, communicating, and improving. Those are the things, if your managers have them in their diary in the right proportion, will take things upwards, make things better for people, for things, for your organization, because they are the essence of what leaders do. They make things better. Then we've got the amber behaviors: monitoring and directing, just 2 of those. Those are the essence of supervising. Okay, supervising is about making sure that things don't go wrong, keeping balance, maintaining status quo, and managing risk. And we need our managers to do some of that stuff, right? To make sure we don't drop balls. Then we've got red, doing, and we've got brown, floating. Now, those are the things, if your managers have them in their diary in the wrong proportion, will take things backwards because they take time away from the green stuff and the amber stuff. And also, some of that red stuff is what their people should be doing, not them. That's getting stuck in the weeds. And then lastly, there's the blue stuff. Blue stuff is about living. This is about looking after your physical, mental, spiritual, and emotional well-being. This is recharge, making sure you look after yourself outside work so that you can be your best self inside work. So about 2 to 3 months ago, I had a rant post, and the rant post was talking about Goldman Sachs and how Goldman Sachs had managers walking around with clipboards trying to identify who was and who wasn't coming into the office and mandating that people should come. And the rant that I was saying was, the only reason people don't come to the office is because they don't see a need in coming to the office. Okay? Now, the interesting thing, and then the follow-on for that was, so if your people aren't coming into the office, then you should be looking more inwardly at your managers, because they are not creating the conditions in which people feel like there's a point to coming to the office, okay? Now, some people might look at that and go, nah. And then you look at what just happened this week. Beginning this week, we had a heat wave. Anecdotally, when I started speaking to managers in organizations, what do they say? People have started coming back to the office. And it's like, well, of course they have. Because it's hotter at home than it is in the office. They've got air conditioning. There's a reason, finally, for them to come back into the office, because it's to their benefit. I don't want to be sweltering in my house. Wake up, managers. This is the whole point, okay? So here's the thing. If you've got managers in your organization who are struggling and they're saying, do you know what, I'm fed up of this, people won't come back into the office, I think we need to have a policy decision, I think we need to write a policy and stop people from working from home, then the biggest problem is actually your managers. Okay? Managers are the people who are there to create a sense of community, create a sense of purpose, create a shared direction, and create a desire to come together, not necessarily every day, but enough so that people don't feel isolated, because we do our work better when we are together. But at the moment, with so few people believing there's any point in coming together, that's telling us that that shared purpose just isn't there. And where's that come from? Where does the culture come from? It comes from our managers. This is something I think we really need to develop, and that's why I created Time to Lead. Time to Lead it's a 3-module program for managers that is there to get them to do 3 things: to decide whether they want to be a manager, understand what management really is all about, and decide what kind of a manager they want to be, if at all. Secondly, it's about giving them the time to focus and prioritize, once they've decided what that management looks like, on how they can do it better. And that isn't about getting stuck in the weeds on the red stuff and the brown stuff. It's about prioritizing all of this stuff, having courageous conversations. And then lastly, it's about learning how to step beyond management and become a leader, about how to really focus on doing this, not just for themselves, but also for their people. So that's the program. And I think it's a gap. It's something that's missing in current leadership development. We spend too much time giving people more skills, emotional intelligence, having courageous conversations, performance management conversations, setting targets, all these things. And as soon as our managers learn them, they go back to their desk and the first thing they say is, I haven't got time to do any of that stuff because I'm too busy. We need to be giving our managers less to do by showing that they need to focus more on this stuff than on the red stuff, rather than giving them more stuff to do, first of all, okay? That's what it's about. So if you've got these managers who you think you might have a challenge with, okay, managers that are being more directive, managers that aren't really inspiring people, then maybe you need Time to Lead. But there's a better way of figuring this out. Every month I run something called a Time to Lead taster. It's a 1-hour interactive session where I give people like you the opportunity to kind of look at management in a slightly different way for yourself. And what I'm hoping that will do is that will get you to think, wow, what would this tell my managers about themselves and about what their role would be? I think it's a real eye-opener, and it could give you a sense as to whether time to lead is something that you need within your organisation. So the next one, it's on the 4th Tuesday of every month. So the next one is next Tuesday, the 26th at 1:30 in the afternoon UK time. Like I say, it's 60 minutes, it's highly interactive. I'll put a link to the session below, and I do limit the number of people that come in because I want it to be a bit of a conversation as well. I don't want it to just be me talking at people, but want people to have the opportunity to ask questions and really connect with each other as well, okay? So I'll put a link below. Come along to it if you think you might have some kind of challenge with management, with leadership development. Maybe you've invested in it and it just simply hasn't worked, or you just simply are fed up of people not feeling like they want to come into the office. Then let's have a conversation about it. As I said, go to the link, register soon because there's only a limited number of spaces. In the meantime, have a great day, have a great week.